I'm Clint-culberson with lordsofconsciousness.com. I'm here at Gem and Jam 2017 in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm really excited to be here with these two guys. They are with the band Jaw Gems out of the Northeast, New England band. This is Andy. This is DJ. Say hello, my friends.
Hello. How's it going?
Before I wanted to do this interview with you guys, I had never heard your music, and ever since I wanted to get a sample of it, and for the last 3 days I've pretty much been nonstop listening to it with all my buddies. We've all of us have just been Jaw Jams all day long, all the way up here, and so you've made quick fans of many of us up in Phoenix, Arizona. So thank you guys.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
So you guys have been around for about like 7 years, you said?
7 years, yeah.
And you're out of Maine, correct?
Maine, yeah. We had a residency at a small club in Portland for like 5-6 years, which was basically our petri dish. We started very quiet and started getting a little bit weirder and weirder, and then got louder. Now we're doing what we do.
And touring all over the country now, man. And you're here in Tucson. Are you guys pretty excited to be here at Gem and Jam?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, yeah. All of this is, at least for me, very new experience. Touring, festival scene, people interviewing us, people actually knowing our music without them being our friends. It's all brand new. So yeah, excited for all this. It's great.
Yeah, so what's that like from, a couple of boys from the Northeast, all of a sudden they're going out west and people actually know their music, like when you guys meet perfect strangers who've never heard it or who you've never met before, who are telling you how much they love your music. What is that like? We're going to ask DJ.
Yeah, it's amazing, Never thought that was going to happen, so.
Well, it's because you guys have put in a lot of hard work. I'm sure after 7 years, it's been a lot of practice, a lot of commitment. I wanted to ask you guys, because there's 4 of you in the band. How do you, from a creative aspect, how do you guys come together with 4 different opinions on potentially where songs will go, and what is the creative process like with 4 people?
We kind of just blend into one, because we figured it out together. Just like Andy said, it was a petri dish, our local gig that we had every week. So we kind of figured out this. It's a style that's already exists, but we figured out this weird thing together, cut our teeth together. So we just sit in a room and kind of just sometimes we'll sit in a room for 2 days, just play, pick stuff out of that and build. Sometimes each person will make their own beat, bring it in. It's very organic.
The other guys who aren't here are both beat makers. We're all beat makers, but between just the 2 keyboardists, they both have treasure troves of material that we haven't even messed with. So if we weren't even to ever practice together, we have 20 albums worth of material just from each of them making their own ish. Right. So
is it hard to really get down to just a few songs for an album? I mean, is there some good stuff on the cutting room floor?
I don't think it's hard for us. It could be if we were really picky, but for myself, all the material that everyone brings in is, Tyler and Hassan are my favorite musicians. DJ's my favorite drummer ever. So anything that anyone brings in, I'm that's the best song ever. So anything that goes on the album, I think if we're actually picking stuff, it's just does this sound like it kind of fits with the other tracks? Yeah, okay, done, cool, album's done.
That's some real chemistry, man. That's some real chemistry then. Were you guys friends before you became, a collaborative?
Me and Tyler, the other keyboardist, just been best friends since we were 19. Oh yeah. And then Stu Mahan, who's in the London Soul. He was in the London Souls. Now he's in the Eric Krasnow band. He played with us He was the bass player for a long time at that same gig, the residency. And then we brought Hassan in. And then Stu moved to New York, so Hassan knew Andy. Nice. Then Andy just kind of like had been coming out, checking us out, nice. Knew all the songs. We had him sit in, and he just knew everything. And nice. He was the dude.
Yeah, actually, to speak about how dope the Portland scene is, even though it's very small, Stu Mahan, dopest bass player, is playing with Eric Krasno. Lyle Davinsky, who is now Motet's lead singer, also a Portland native. So there's talent there. Yeah, for real. Ryan Zoidis is in Lettuce. Nigel Hall is playing with Lettuce now. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are some big names. They have quite a following. You guys have obviously been honing your skills over the last 10 years. You know, we're talking about like, man, you're here, touring across the country. What would the you of 10 years ago think of the present day you right now? Like, what would that guy say?
10 years. So I would have been 10 years ago. I would have said, no, I quit. I already quit. Like, no, it's not gonna work. But go 15 years back, I would have been like, of course I'm going to be the next Bootsy Collins, frickin' the best ever. Cut 5 years later, I would have been like, nope.
So it's been an ebb and flow, up and down of confidence, lack of confidence. Maybe you want to quit.
For me, yeah, definitely. But I can only speak for myself.
Yeah. What about you, DJ?
No, the whole thing about this band, it's like, get inside the beat. It's beat-based music. So we just try to really get inside the beat. Play from our guts, and so I mean, if nothing happened ever, we would just, this is all we have, so we would just be doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard a lot of artists say that. It's like, even if I made no money, I would still be doing this. I'd be figuring out how to just survive and do my craft. So I'm going to reverse the question. What would the you of right now, the present day you, if you could get in the hot tub time machine and head back 10 years ago, what would you tell the version of you from 10 years ago?
Oh God. Well, I literally started playing bass and taking music seriously. I played guitar for a minute, but I sucked and didn't know what to do with it. I played bass because my buddy got me a Parliament Funkadelic ticket on my 17th birthday, and then I took some maybe unmentionable somethings and went there. It's like super cheesy, but at the end of the show, I might be making this up in my head, but I remember just like, I don't know, stagehands coming out and just trading off bass and playing bass, and I just, again, on some stuff, was like, that's okay. All right, I get this. I know I'm supposed to do that. I went home. My dad was up, like, getting cereal at, like, 2 in the morning, put a flashlight in my eyes. I was like, what's your deal? And then I was like, Dad, can I trade my guitar tomorrow, get a bass? He let me. We did that. And I'd go back and say, you were fucking right. How crazy is that shit? And then would probably puke and freak out because I was on acid at the time. But yeah.
What about you, DJ? What did you tell yourself?
I would say just keep on doing it. Just keep on doing it.
Don't quit, right? I mean,
explore, search, work. Yeah. Just keep on doing it. And
I asked that question because there's a lot of artists out there right now who are unknown, who maybe they just have this insane talent that they're so scared to like unleash, to let out into the world and be unafraid to do that. And so when you can hear from guys who are doing it, you guys are doing it. You guys really are. It's amazing. It's awesome. And this is only the start, and to be patient, right? Would you give that advice as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, your music, honestly, is really something to experience, especially if you're really looking for something to really penetrate inside of you and set the mood for. It's great conversation music to have in the background when you're hanging out with your friends. I mean, it's like absolutely Awesome. So where can people find you guys? Like, where's the best place to find your music?
We're on Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes. We have a website which has links to all that stuff. So all the regular outlets. We have hard copies, CDs, cassettes. If you come to the shows, we got all that stuff. So yeah.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's
Thank
awesome
you.
meeting you guys. Hopefully this won't be the last time we chat. So
Right on.
thanks, buddy.